Kyriakides on the protocol in Ireland and Northern Ireland, and in particular on a set of proposals today related to medicines. Without further ado, I'd like to pass the floor to the Vice President.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. It has been an eventful year in the EU-UK relations, with a special focus on implementing the two essential agreements which frame our post-Brexit partnership. Although they were both negotiated in fine detail and agreed by both sides, we have seen a number of issues arise since then, many being the consequence of the type of Brexit the United Kingdom chose. This is especially true for the protocol on Ireland and Northern Ireland. Therefore, throughout this year, the European Union has worked tirelessly to facilitate the implementation of the protocol on the ground. Our efforts have been crucial to provide stability and predictability on the island of Ireland, and so to help Northern Ireland grasp the full opportunities provided by the protocol. In this context, I just held my last meeting with David Frost this year on the EU's package of far-reaching proposals to smooth the implementation of the protocol. I also spoke to the leaders of different political parties representing communities of Northern Ireland. And it gives me a great pleasure to deliver today on one of the key pieces of our package, the supply of medicines to Northern Ireland. During my visit to Northern Ireland in September, I promised to do whatever it takes to ensure a long-lasting solution on medicines, all the more so in the light of current pandemic. I kept my word, and today the Commission is delivering in the form of a legislative proposal, ensuring that everyone in Northern Ireland has access to the same medicines at the same time as in the rest of the United Kingdom. This goes for both generic medicines and innovative life-saving medicine, including those designed for cancer treatment. In a nutshell, this will be possible because all regulatory functions of pharmaceutical companies supplying medicines from Great Britain to Northern Ireland can remain in the UK, while no additional batch testing, manufacturing and license authorization or separate packaging is required. Commissioner Stella Kyriakides, whom I thank for her outstanding commitment and extremely close collaboration, will elaborate on these proposals in detail. I am confident that this is an important milestone and that our proposals will deliver on their objectives. On the one hand, they answer all concerns raised by stakeholders during our extensive outreach, and at the same time we have engaged intensively with the UK government to reach an appropriate solution. I am convinced that the issue of medicines shows that the protocol has the flexibility to work on the ground. Therefore, we must carry this momentum into the other areas of discussion. Here too, the EU's objective remains the same: to jointly identify durable solutions to ease the flow of goods between Great Britain and Northern Ireland. This covers both customs and the movement of sanitary and phytosanitary goods. Particularly on customs, if the political goodwill is maintained, our discussions could lead to a timely agreement on measures that would bring significant simplification for operators on the ground. Let me recall that the EU has proposed an extensive reduction of customs formalities unmatched for any other third country, while also protecting the integrity of the EU's single market through a number of preconditions and safeguards. In the SPS area, the UK government is yet to reciprocate the big move made by the European Union, which could lead to a significant simplification of certification and around an 80% reduction in identity and physical checks for a wide range of retail goods moving from Great Britain to be consumed in the Northern Ireland. With David Frost, we will resume our talks in January with a view to reaching a conclusive understanding with the UK. For my part, I remain committed to continue paying full attention to the implementation of the protocol, listening and engaging with the Northern Irish stakeholders, from political leaders to businesses and a cross-section of civic society. Ladies and gentlemen, I stood here 1 year ago to the day, welcoming solutions which would ensure that the protocol became operational in time. Today is a further demonstration of the EU's unwavering commitment to stability and predictability for citizens and businesses in Northern Ireland. And I urge the UK government to reciprocate our efforts. The EU and the UK are partners with shared values and shared global challenges. So it is time to change gear and bring our partnership to the level on which it belongs. Before I conclude, let me briefly mention Gibraltar, as the ongoing EU-UK negotiations on an agreement in respect of Gibraltar are part of the partnership that we could achieve with the United Kingdom. Progress has been made in the first 4 rounds that took place since October this year. They have been very constructive and reflected the strong willingness of the two sides to reach an agreement. We will continue these negotiations in the new year and enter the decisive phase as soon as possible. We share with the UK and Spain the objective of concluding an agreement during the first quarter of next year. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Vice President. Over to you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're announcing good news for EU patients in Cyprus, Malta and Ireland, as well as patients in Northern Ireland who feared that their access to medicines could be impacted due to the UK's decision to withdraw from the EU. First of all, I would like to sincerely thank Vice President Šefčovič for his unwavering commitment to find a solution. I would like also to thank our colleagues in the Commission services who have been working over many months to find a creative and safe solution to address the important issue of medicine supply. The exceptional nature of these proposals must be seen as a further sign of the Commission's commitment to the full and effective implementation of the protocol for Ireland and Northern Ireland. Let me start by saying that our aim has been very clear from the start. We worked to bring concrete solutions to concrete challenges. Our priority was clear. Patients' access to medicines shall never be put at risk. And this is even more important today in view of the challenges for the health sector in this pandemic period. The past 2 years have shown how important it is for us to have a strong supply chain and access to medicines at all times, including to ensure the continuation of routine healthcare services. And this is what we are doing today, ensuring that people in Northern Ireland, in Cyprus, Malta and Ireland that still depend on the UK medicine supply can continue to get medicines they need whenever they need them. To guarantee long-term continuous supply of medicines from the UK, our proposals make targeted amendments to the EU pharmaceutical legislation, as well as targeted changes to our EU clinical trials rules. They give exceptional administrative flexibility to the UK in respect to Northern Ireland, so that certain regulatory functions for medicines for human use authorised by the United Kingdom for the Northern Ireland market under the protocol may be exceptionally located in Great Britain. This covers, for example, marketing authorization holders and qualified persons for pharmacovigilance and batch testing. This is important for patients in Northern Ireland, since they will have access to innovative, life-saving medicines, as the Vice President has already mentioned, such as new cancer medicines, as soon as other patients have access to these anywhere else in the UK. If a new medicine has been authorised in the UK, but not yet in the EU, it will be temporarily supplied to patients in Northern Ireland pending authorisation in the EU. Those temporary authorisations should be time-limited and end as soon as the Commission has granted the authorisation to market the medicine. It is important to recall that patients in Northern Ireland already have immediate access to EU-authorised medicines thanks to the protocol. For Cyprus, Malta and Ireland, our proposal provides a temporary derogation so that they can continue to source medicines from the UK if needed. A longer-term and structural solution to the issues of access to medicines for these three member states is also part of our ongoing full review and revision of the EU pharmaceutical legislation. I want to remind you that our proposal to revise the pharmaceutical legislation is expected a year from now, at the end of 2022. To protect the internal market, medicines nationally authorised by the UK for Northern Ireland will not be distributed to the rest of the EU internal market. So, as the Vice President has said, we have delivered in finding a viable and pragmatic solution under the protocol, and under these new amendments to the legislation, once they are effectively in place, existing flexibilities will continue to apply. There will be an extension of the grace period to ensure a continuation of the supply of medicines in Northern Ireland, as well as Cyprus, Malta and Ireland. And this will normally last until the end of 2022, unless the legislative procedure for our proposals on medicinal products for human use is finalised prior to that. Therefore, we call today on the Council and the European Parliament to swiftly adopt our proposals, having only one thing in mind, and I think that this is true for all of us, that patient interests are always at the centre of all our policies and all our choices, and this is the case as well today. So I thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Commissioner and Vice President. We now have the time to take a few questions. Just to let you know that there is a technical briefing immediately after this press conference, so if you do have particularly technical questions, we can always answer them there as well. And we have interpretation available for you today in English, French, Greek and Slovak. So looking first to the room, whether there are any questions? No, if not, I'll move to the online chat. And I believe, Joe, you had your hand up first. So, Joe, please go ahead. Joe, sorry, we can't hear you. Now we can.
Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so Vice President Sefcovic, Lord Frost this morning has said that your proposals on medicines aren't particularly clear, and he doesn't know the full details on whether they will solve the problem for medicine supplies in Northern Ireland. Could you give him guarantees that they will genuinely fix what you say they will fix? And then on the idea of governance is also mentioned, and it looks like the UK is now set to kind of step away from the idea of the ECJ being completely kind of amputated from the protocol, and will give the ECJ the right to be the final arbiter of e-law in Northern Ireland. Is this a positive step in the negotiations, and has he communicated that with you? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Joe, for your question. I think that also after this very thorough presentation and a full technical briefing which would follow, I think that we can clearly offer the guarantees that we are addressing all the issues which have been communicating to us by our UK partners. And I want to say that this is not some kind of rash judgment. We already presented our first proposals how to solve these very important issues for the people of Northern Ireland on the 30th of June. That you would recall that I visited personally Northern Ireland, and my feeling was clearly reaffirmed that this was #1 issue which the people in Northern Ireland wanted us to solve. And I think now all that demand was quite importantly aggravated by the return of severe pandemic. I therefore really would like to thank my colleague, Commissioner Kyriakides, for working so closely with us and so intensely on solving what is really a solution which is truly bespoke for Northern Ireland only, without any precedent in the past, and we are just showing our enormous willingness and also creativity how to find the solutions within the protocol, and demonstrating that this is possible if we work very well together. I can also tell you that over the last 6 months we provided extensive information sessions and discussions with Lord Frost and his team, so I believe there will be no surprises in the proposal for him, and on top of it we consulted widely Northern Irish stakeholders, pharmaceutical companies, so we are pretty safe that we cover all bases, and this is indeed the transformative proposals which is addressing all the issues which been communicating to us, and I hope that as such it will be also welcomed by the stakeholders in Northern Ireland, and also I hope by our UK partners. If it comes to the ECJ and governance issue, we presented our proposal a couple of months ago on how we can better involve Irish stakeholders into the dealings of the protocol. And I just concluded my last round in talking to the political leaders of Northern Ireland, and I am having regular discussions with the civic society and also with the representatives of the business community. And indeed, they would like to be better involved, better informed. We offered different ways how we can structurally do that. And for that, of course, we need, I have to say, more traction from the UK side so we can actually put it in practice. I would also add that the European Parliament has decided and nominated already the members for eventual EU-UK Parliamentary Assembly, and they are very keen to start the works and also to discuss with the UK partners how we can accommodate the interests of the members of Legislative Assembly in Stormont to be part of it. We do not want to do it with the UK, therefore we wait for the UK proposals in these regards, but we are ready to have as close cooperation as possible with all Irish stakeholders. If it comes to the European Court of Justice, I think that I was very clear on these issues before. It's not in my mandate. Without European Court of Justice, we cannot have a properly functioning single market. And I have to repeat again my impression that when I was talking to the stakeholder in the Northern Ireland, be it political, civic society representatives of business leaders, this issue was barely mentioned, because the people want us to focus on solving the issues like the medicine. They want us to ease the trade flows between East and West. They want us to make sure that we will deliver on what we put on the table, to reduce by half the customs paperwork. They want us to work together to achieve the reduction of SPS checks by 80%, and to create what again we suggested is the introduction of this express lane, so the trade between the GB and Northern Ireland could be as smooth as possible. All this is on the table, and when I was presenting this proposal at that time, what I was suggesting was that I feel that we might be in a home stretch to resolve all these issues before Christmas. That was really our ambition. Unfortunately, that was not possible. We need more reciprocation from the UK so we can deliver on what we hope would be this conclusive understanding. I hope we can do it early and quickly next year. But today I'm glad to say that on the number one issue, which was mentioned to me all the time in all the meetings I had in Northern Ireland, thanks to the great work of Commissioner Kyriakides, we are delivering before Christmas to the people of Northern Ireland, and we can reassure them that once they would be in the situation they would need the medicines, they will get it at the same time all over the UK, and that we found the way how we can do it within the protocol.
Thank you very much. Jess, I'll give you the floor now.
Hi there. Thanks very much for this. Just to pick up on what Joe was saying, the UK has obviously signalled it is willing to accept a role of the European Court of Justice. Just to be clear, are you at all willing to talk about governance, yes or no?
I think that if it comes to the governance, I think I just gave the response a minute ago. The first one for us, the government, is also how we are going to set up the structural contacts and cooperation with the representatives of Northern Ireland, be it on political, civic society level, or on the trade representative level. And what I would like to say, maybe one more sentence on the European Court of Justice. Sometimes I think that we are kind of missing the purpose and the work of what the European Court of Justice does. Just give you one example. When I'm talking to the business representatives from time to time, I get a complaint, but you know, if it comes to that particular port or to that particular city in the European Union, they do not know that we as a Northern Irish businesses are on the single market of the EU. Can you help us? And of course we do our utmost as a Commission, but if there would be any barrier created for the traders trading with the European Union, then the European Court of Justice is ultimate protector, because the European Court of Justice is there to remove the barriers, to make single market operating smoothly, to make sure that the rules are applied in the same way, and therefore it's part and parcel of the protocol on Ireland and Northern Ireland. So therefore it's part of the overall deal we had with the UK. It was not disputed at all until the summer of this year, and therefore for us this is the topic we are not ready to include in our discussions.
Thank you very much. Catherine, I give the floor to you now.
Hello?
You just need to press speak.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah, great. Okay. So, Vice President Šefčovič, do you think the solution on medicines today could have been resolved without the UK taking its rather aggressive approach and breaching substantive parts of the agreement, the withdrawal agreement that they'd reached with the EU? And what lessons do you think that they will take from this in the new year? We've seen in a statement that Lord Frost has said that the standstill, what he describes as the standstill arrangements, the unilateral grace periods, will stay in place until all issues are resolved. Do you have a deadline on this?
Thank you very much. I think what is very important to say that we demonstrated at multiple occasions our unwavering commitment to the people of Northern Ireland, to Good Friday Belfast Agreement. We've been part of that effort to make sure that peace, stability and predictability for Northern Ireland people is preserved after Brexit, which really put totally new issues and new problems on the table. The issue how to make sure that we would avoid the hard border on the island of Ireland, how to make sure that we would respect constitutional, territorial integrity of the UK in the fullest, and at the same time make sure that very clearly we would guarantee the place of Ireland in the single market of the European Union, being the most difficult to resolve. And it took us really quite some time, a couple of years, until we arrived at the solution which was created in a way that the withdrawal agreement and the protocol are the basis of our EU-UK relationship, and on that basis we built a future-oriented trade and cooperation agreement. And I think it's very important to remember the sequence and to remember the construction of our relationship. And we demonstrated already a year ago, when I was leading these negotiations with, at that time, Chancellor Gove, that whenever there is a real problem for the people of Northern Ireland, we are doing our utmost to resolve it. And by the medicines proposal, we clearly demonstrated that we are even ready to change our own laws to make sure that we would deliver on that commitment. But I can reassure you that breaching international law, breaching agreements which have been signed just a couple of months ago, doesn't create trust, doesn't make the negotiations easier, and therefore we put extra effort to rebuild that trust, to create as constructive atmosphere as possible, so we can deliver on other outstanding issues which are on the table. And I can tell you that from our side we are coming with open hand, open heart, and lots of creativity to the table, because I think it's time to resolve all these issues which have been caused by the type of Brexit the UK government has chosen, and to move on and hopefully to rebuild the kind of relationship the EU and UK deserve. Because I think it's one of eternal neighbours, it's one of strategic allies, and it's one of the partners who want to tackle the global issues from climate change to different challenges on the international global arena. But we cannot go there because we are still solving the issues which we've been trying to solve with our UK partners a year ago. So therefore, we hope that also with these very clear examples, how much we can achieve and how committed we are to the people of Northern Ireland, we can use it indeed as a catalyst for solving other issues, hopefully early next year, so we can really move to the more promising area of our relationship. We are not in the business of putting down artificial deadlines. We never walk from the negotiation table, so we will do our utmost to deliver for the people of Northern Ireland and also for the people of Ireland, and we'll do our utmost to protect integrity of single market.
Thank you very much, Vice President. I'll now take two short questions. Philip.
Hopefully you can hear me? Yeah, okay. Lord Frost, in his assessment of the talks, he says that with the possible exception of medicines, the negotiations are are not even close to delivering outcomes. And I wondered if you shared his assessment. He's also talked about a so-called staged approach, rather than having a comprehensive sort of solution to everything, kind of booking progress sort of bit by bit. Is that an approach that the EU would welcome?
What I have to say is that in our October package, I think we made enormous step towards UK position. If you look at what was presented in our non-papers, resolution of the issue of medicines. Here we are delivering. We are delivering on our own after the very intense consultations with our UK partners. We proposed 50% cut in the paperwork if it comes to the customs formalities. We are proposing 80% cut in SPS checks. We are suggesting creation of express lanes. What more we can do from our side to make sure that we would ease the trade flows between East and West. But you would also understand that we bear the political and legal responsibility for protecting the European single market, that we are responsible for public health, animal health, and all these very important prerogatives, and therefore we also need to get the adequate reassurances from the UK side on the safeguard. We are still discussing when and how we will have the real-time access to IT database. Sooner we have it, sooner we have the information how it works, and sooner we get guarantees from the UK side how they want to provide us with the necessary safeguards. I think sooner we can move to, I hope, what would be the decisive phase. I think we did our homework, we did our step, we explained to our UK partners how we want to achieve the results, and now we are waiting that also from UK side we will get the precise information how they want to do their part of the bit, and hopefully we will get it. I think we had more encouraging discussions, especially in the area of customs over the last 2 weeks. We've been discussing other issues where I think we understand each other better, and I believe that if the UK would reciprocate our effort, our energy, and our ambition we bring to these discussions, that we could be much more advanced by now, and I hope that this will happen early next year and we'll be able to resolve all these very difficult and very complex issues.
Thank you very much. I'm afraid we only have time for one more question, so I'll give Jennifer the floor.
I hope you can hear me. So I wanted to return, Jennifer Rankin, The Guardian, I wanted to return to governance. Mr. Šefčovič, you said that the governance wouldn't be on the table in these negotiations, but I wanted to ask why, because the UK is now ready to accept a Swiss-style arbitration agreement. So why would the EU have such an arrangement with Switzerland, where you have the ECJ in the background as the arbiter of EU law? Why would the EU accept this for Switzerland, but not for its relationship with the UK when it comes to resolving disputes?
I think they already explained the role of the ECJ and absolutely irreplaceable role of the European Court of Justice for making sure that the rules of the single market are properly applied. So without European Court of Justice, you cannot have the access to the single market. It's as simple as that. And I don't think that we should risk all the advantages and enhanced opportunities for Northern Ireland people for this theoretical discussion. If you look at the statistics coming from Northern Ireland, how many new investments been made there, what was the growth of trade, what are the investors' plans for the next period. I think if I even compare the growth figure, the Northern Ireland, despite the difficult economic situation worldwide, is quite booming. Look at exports, look at investments, look at new jobs being created. So it's clearly to the benefit of the people of the Northern Ireland. There are more and more locally produced goods in the Northern Irish supermarkets, which I also think is good. So let's look at it from this perspective and not risk these huge opportunities which are presented by the protocol and by this dual access to the UK and EU market at the same time. Let's not deprive the Northern Irish people and businesses from this opportunity. So I think it's very important to underline that. And then, of course, one more argument in this regard, removal of the role of the European Court of Justice from the protocol would mean renegotiations. It would mean a restart of the whole difficult negotiations we had before the end of the last year, and it would also require the full ratification in the parliaments. I mean, do we want to have rerun of all those very difficult chapters in our history when we know that we can solve all the pressing matters for the people of Northern Ireland within the protocol? And I would repeat once again, in my extensive discussions with the political leaders, with the business leaders, with the civic society, I maybe got the question of the European Court of Justice maybe twice over the last half a year. So let's focus on what is important, and I believe the important thing is what we are developing today, the medicines. Important is how to reduce the customs procedures, how to reduce the checks for SPS goods, and how, if you are talking about the governance, how we involve the Northern Irish representatives better into the dealings of the protocol. And we are ready to really do a lot in all these areas.
Thank you very much, Vice President and Commissioner. Commissioner, would you like to say a word?
Yes, if I may. I just wanted to come back in ending with the words of the Vice President. Let's focus on what is important and on what is important today. The proposals that are being put forward today are ensuring a continuation of supply and access to medicines of patients. And I believe that, as the Vice President said, we needed to be creative in order to deliver and, more importantly, to safeguard the well-being of patients, especially at these difficult times of the pandemic, in order that they are able to really feel safe and that they will not face issues to do with shortages and supplies. So once again, focusing on the positive. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner and Vice President, for coming down to the press room today. This now concludes our press conference. Stay tuned for the technical briefing, which will take place in the next couple of minutes. And just to remind you that there is a press release and a Q&A available online in case you need any more information on that, as well as a statement by the Vice President which summarises the state of play of our discussions with the UK on the protocol. So with that, I wish you a nice afternoon and a good weekend, and see you in a few minutes for the technical briefing. Thank you.